Hello and welcome to nothing, something. Very good.
You're Mike 3.
Yep.
Okay.
Are we live?
We're live.
Hello and welcome to Baldwin Woodville High School in Baldwin, Wisconsin for Blackhawk Television's presentation of BW hosting the St. Croix Central Panthers from just down Highway 12. This is a JV portion, so we're going to have two 16-minute halves to this contest. This will be the third time, according to Nygaard, that these two teams have faced off, so some familiar faces. My name's Jordan Lehman. I'm joined by the famous cameraman Zach Ambrose and former coach Jeremy Nygaard. How you doing, Nygaard?
I'm doing good. Yeah, these teams played one time in Menominee in the holiday tournament over Christmas break, and then they played their conference game. So this is meeting number 3 between these two JV teams.
So that that was a long 2, was made by number 45. That's Stella Com. She's a freshman. Also starting for the Hawks, 41 is Maggie Jensen. Number 21 is Mara Nygaard. Number 33.
33 with the, so we had two 33s.
So 33 at the top of the key is Haley Marr, the thicker number. 33 guarding the post right now on the near side of the screen is Jenna Livingston. For the Panthers in black, got number 3 Emery Sanders. Number 5 is Madeline Dull. Number 12 is Ellie Smith. Number 11 is Sydney Rochel. And number
22 is the
22.
starter.
Okay. 22 is Emmy Collins.
And she just made the first basket there for the Panthers.
So we're all tied up at 2. This is the regular season finale for both programs. We mentioned on Tuesday when the girls took on Prescott here, the Division III brackets have been released for postseason play as late February, March madness gets underway. For those interested, boys brackets will be the seating. What would you say? The seating button will be pushed.
Correct.
This weekend.
Sunday,
and
yep.
Brackets will be out Sunday afternoon sometime.
So what you see in the background here are some little girls coming in princess dresses. Halftime performance of the dancing dribblers. So that we'll have a little halftime entertainment of the JV game.
I'm going to go on a limb and say that I would be about middle of the pack when it comes to the ability to handle the basketball in that group. In that group, probably middle of the pack.
Yeah, I
like
mean,
if they do a left-handed drill,
that's
then I'm the one staring at it with my palm in the basketball.
Yeah, well, the dancing dribblers are 3 to 5 year olds.
Sure.
So it's a younger group. I would think you would probably be okay in a game of horse against them.
Really, and that's all that's ever really mattered. We're going to have subs for the Hawks. 13, Peyton Mikla. 23, Abby Nielsen. And 51 is not Haley Coda. That's Kylie Castell.
Yep, so Kylie Castell is going to suit up with the varsity now. With the rosters not necessarily expanding, but having the ability to travel, I believe it's 23 or 24 personnel members, so coaches, managers, and players.
Okay.
Coach English is going to have some extra jerseys, extra spots available anyway, so
sure.
Good experience to sit on the bench and be a part of that as the postseason gets underway.
Absolutely. And that's Abby Nielsen. She's going to finish for an and one opportunity. Those are brought to you at Blackhawk TV by Packman's Concrete. You can reach Nick Pack at 612-804-5222 for all your concrete needs, or at packmansconcrete@gmail.com. What do you miss most about coaching basketball?
I mean, there's a lot of things that I miss. I really enjoyed practices, just the beginning part of practices, the stretching line, um, when you'd walk around and just kind of BS with the kids. I really enjoyed that. That was when you kind of got to know them a little bit more. Um, but the competition of drills, love that. Obviously, game nights were fun. Some more fun than others.
Right.
The winning more than the losing. Um, the camaraderie amongst coaches, not only from our staff together, but coaches around the conference and around the area. That was very enjoyable. I mean, there's a lot of things to like a lot about coaching, and the hard part is it doesn't stop. And I coached middle school basketball for, God, I don't know, 8 or 9 years, maybe even more than that, boys and girls. And it was fun. You played a bunch of games. You probably played 15, 16 games. You had 15 practices or so. And that was your 6 weeks.
Right.
And then, you didn't do things on the weekends. You didn't do things over break. And then the season was over, and then the girls' season was starting. You would do the same thing. And high school sports, not the same. It's
yeah.
It was really what felt like a full-time job. And coaching middle school never felt like a job. It felt like,
Yeah.
that's what you were doing. And obviously the stakes are a little bit higher. And I don't miss, being in July and trying to spend as much time on the basketball court as you can, because when August rolls around, you are pretty much off limits for 3 months, but you want the kids to be as ready as possible when November happens. And that part was the part that I missed the least, because at least in my mind, if I wasn't doing everything that I possibly could be doing, I felt like I was selling somebody short. And that same with Great Northwest tournaments, and Ambrose even talks about how he doesn't miss those tournaments, which I know that he does, because he loved baking cookies and making pizzas.
Burning cookies or baking cookies?
Well, both. I mean, you did both effectively. But it's like that was a whole. I mean, it wasn't just show up on Saturday and shake hands and kiss babies. It was
right.
Prepare for these tournaments and get all the concessions and line everybody up, and for me, I felt like it was important that all the kids got to play at home, and so and have an opportunity to start that when they were in 4th grade. So that the last year, I think we had 7 different Saturdays that we hosted stuff during the season. I mean, that's a long time. It's like then Sundays roll around and you just lay on the couch and watch football because.
Yeah.
For one, it's football, and for two, because you were exhausted from the previous 6 days.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I mean, there was, the relationships that you make with players was something that it's hard to really express, because there's conversations that we had that were very unique and very valuable for both us and the athletes, that really had nothing to do with basketball a lot of times.
I think a part of coaching that people, and rightfully so, don't necessarily understand when it comes to the value of coaching anything, is how much you learn about yourself.
Right.
You learn when you're in a position of authority in any walk of life. It's a great opportunity to lead and to influence others positively, but it's also unfortunately an opportunity to make poor choices and see how that plays out in others. And so you have to wrestle with that, and like you said, do everything you can possible to make sure that your influence is as positive as possible. And in that process, you learn a ton about what matters in the end when it comes to communicating with people, what matters in the end when it comes to sports, what's the real value in it, and how difficult it is. And sometimes Sometimes you learn as you go. Sometimes it takes reflection. But that's been super beneficial in my life, I know, and I would recommend it. Literally anybody I hear that mentions to me they're interested, I just say do it.
Right. Absolutely.
Everybody and anybody who has ever thought about it, you should. Because there is no minimum qualification. You can have played in high school, you can have played middle school, you can have not. But if you put in the time and give the athletes your best, oftentimes you'll have a lot of fun, you'll learn a lot. For example, Jim Rumpel, who's in the Wisconsin Tennis High School Hall of Fame, did not play tennis in high school.
Seriously?
Seriously.
I would have never
He
guessed that.
taught himself how to play in college. And he's a good player. But he loved the geometry. He loved the game. He loved the strategy of the game. He loved all parts of it, and became one of the definitely the best tennis coach in the area, and probably Western Wisconsin when it comes to our size schools, and then one of the best ever in the state. Over 20 straight state tournament appearances. But yeah, it's open for anybody.
Did you you didn't watch Timberwolves games last night, I'm sure.
No.
So Chris Finch, the Timberwolves head coach, was a former Raptors assistant coach for Nick Nurse, and they kind of told the whole story about Nurse and Finch, and how they first met and kind of gelled. Hey, buddy. And so the whole thing was, they talked to Finch about it, and he said, we had a great relationship because the club of coaches that didn't go to North Carolina and didn't play in the NBA is not very big, and here we are. And Nick Nurse is considered, one of the was a rising coach and now one of the better coaches, and Chris Finch has got a reputation for being one of the best offensive minds in basketball.
Yeah.
And you don't have to have that background as a stellar player. Sometimes that helps, but when Chris Finch tells you to do something offensively and all of a sudden you're scoring boatloads of points, guys start to believe in you. And Karl Anthony Towns said it last night. He said he's made a comment about how much he enjoyed Chris Finch, and he said, and that means a lot coming from me, because Ryan Saunders was basically Cat's guy.
Yeah.
And this is the guy that replaced Ryan Saunders. So yeah, the prereqs are pretty minimum.
Another kind of anecdote off of the point we've been talking about, Bruce Pearl, who's the head coach of the number 2 in the nation Auburn Tigers men's basketball team, and also had a number of very successful teams at Tennessee, did not play high school basketball. He was a manager, always loved the game. I think it was injury related. But I mean, coming from myself, who only played 2 years of high school basketball, it's definitely something that you can let creep into your mind, especially if you're sitting around a table having beverages with Nick Johnson and even yourself, Zach Campbell. It's like, well, one part of this is not like the others, right? But at the same time, if you love it, if you're committed to it, that respect will come. And like you said, it can help, and I think it can help you and it can hurt you, depending on what your background is. If you try to be something you're not, right? You tell a really good story about a baseball coach, and you could tell it here, kind of listing his resume and then saying to a group of parents, like, I will know more about the sport than you, whether you think it or not.
Right.
And for some, it's, if you walk into a parent meeting, or if you have a meeting with players and say, I'm better than you, so you should listen to me, that's not going to be valid for some people.
Right.
And will lose you credibility. But yeah, tell that story about the was it Eden Prairie?
Minnetonka. So when I got hired, I reached out to people that knew that I felt could help me, right? And that's just trying to get better. And so a friend of mine that I actually met many years ago, I met him in Beloit, Wisconsin, after a Beloit Snappers Low A minor league baseball game. So a former Minnesota Gopher, A.J. Pedersen's his name, drafted by the Twins in the 25th round. He's like 5'6", 160 pounds, tiny, and was all Big Ten, and gets drafted and works his way through the Twin system. And actually, on an aside here, he believes he stuck around in minor league baseball longer than he should have based on his talent, because he spoke a lot of Spanish. And on a team with Eddie Rosario, Kenny Vargas, Miguel Sano, Jorge Polanco, he said, I was the translator.
Yep.
And he said, he played shortstop, then he played second, then he caught in the bullpens when he wasn't playing. But long story short, he retires from baseball, and I think it was Minnetonka, maybe it was Chanhassen. Anyway, he coaches and took his team to the state championship, and a state championship win in his first game, or first year as a coach. And I just kind of mentioned to him at one point when we were talking, I said, what was your approach with parents? Like, how did you obviously try to have some credibility. And he said, first introduction to this group of parents, I said, here's the deal. If you want to talk about booster clubs, if you want to talk about any of the business side of baseball, I'm all ears, fundraising, stuff like that. He said, let me hear it. He said, if you want to talk to me about the sport of baseball and how well you know the game and what I should be doing, he said, you can just keep it to yourself, because you don't.
Yeah.
And he said, and that might sound arrogant, but it's the truth.
Right.
He said, we can talk about anything except for how you know baseball better than I do. And I'm like, and what was the feedback? He said, there was no feedback.
Right.
It's like, he's like, what am I supposed to show him, pull up my baseball reference page that I played professional baseball for 7 years? Am I supposed to show him my Big Ten title ring? Like,
yeah, and we have a friend, after kind of a coaching former peer, and now friend of yours for sure, that talked to us in confidence about it, or not even him, but a colleague of his, about meetings and the tone of meetings that he's able to have because of his credibility.
Right.
And that's something, credibility is earned, whether it's on the court or in the field or as a coach, with years and years of experience, as in, Mr. Rumpel. If Mr. Rumpel and Tyler Howard played a singles match, Tyler would not lose many points.
Right.
But Tyler respected Coach Rumpel because of all of the time he had put in, his expertise of the sport. And it's just all to say, it's a great opportunity for anybody that cares about a sport, cares about people, to have positive influence on other people that love it, namely high school athletes.
And there's a lot of coaching opportunities in the district. Not necessarily even at college, high school, but at the middle school. Mm-hmm. If there's a sport that you really enjoy, and you want to get in kind of an entry level, the middle school is perfect. Mm-hmm. And I've had a number of conversations with people that thought they might want to start coaching middle school basketball, and they're like, but I don't know if I know enough. And it's like, oh, you certainly do, and if you're willing to learn, people will help. And that's the thing. Like, you have a bunch of eyes looking at you, wondering, what's this guy think he's going to teach me? And a lot of times kids at that age are just willing to take whatever coaching is possible. I think back to my younger age, playing travel ball, and the coach that we had, his name was Brad Hopp, local guy, dad of a classmate, and at the time I just felt like he was the greatest basketball mind ever. Mm-hmm. And in looking back, I don't know what, did he play? Mm-hmm. I don't know, but he had a way of talking to the kids, helping you learn basketball. He cared an awful lot. Mm-hmm. And in hindsight, I think that he made a really big impact on how I coached. He wasn't a screamer. Mm-hmm. just went out of his way to do what he felt was best for the group.
Right.
And he coached us, I bet you, I don't know, 5-6 years. And then you'd have coaches that would roll into like a travel ball tourney and didn't really know you at all and didn't seem to care, and would get on officials, and it's like, what are you teaching us here? We're not getting better if that's how you behave. And there's so much that goes into it, and so many different ways to do it well.
Yeah.
You look at Andy Reid versus Bill Belichick versus Sean McVay. They're all very, very different personalities, coaches, styles. I mean, and they all work, and that's what makes it fun. I mean, even with basketball, and Phil Jackson and Bobby Knight are completely different and both very successful.
Good conversation on coaching there. 20-8 is the score in the first half. We've got just under 4 minutes to go. During the JV game, we will discuss a number of different topics. We get off topic here and there. But during the varsity game, rest assured we will. We try to be as professional as possible in all ways, and we'll give you a proper play-by-play and a proper analysis of that action. And that's, is it 7 or 7:15? Is it district? Is it based on district or based on conference?
So I think the start time is usually typically listed at 7.
Okay.
But they don't like to start the 15-minute bell before quarter 2. And so a lot of times it starts a little bit later. But no, I think the start time is 7.
Just because on Wisports it will say 7:15. It'll say quarter after 7.
Oh, then maybe that's the time.
And so it's it's hard to say.
So maybe they try to start the time at right at 7. It used to be 7:30.
Yes.
When I was a player, I remember that. I was just talking to someone about playing in the other gym when that place got packed. In the South gym.
Yeah.
Because it obviously held, I don't know, 20 to 25% less than what this gym holds, I would imagine. And holy smokes, did that place fill up.
Yeah, it was like to the rafters. It was literally, you would be, I remember one game where I would watch one basket from one side of a rafter and one basket from the other side because there was no other seats.
Correct. I have film of my senior year's game against Osceola that wrapped up the conference title. And the last minute and a half is just listening to people scream while the camera hits parts of the court and mostly backs of heads. And you see a lot of hands getting thrown up in the air and faces getting covered. The funny part of that game was that Osceola was shooting free throws late. And it was a one-possession game, and the ball came off the rim and got deflected. And there was a lot of hands near the ball's path and people in the ball's path. And the ball was called out on Osceola, which I believe was the correct call. But the accusation was that one of our guys punched an Osceola guy. And so they wanted to get all the views, whatever camera had. And now in 2021, there's probably 30 different views. In 2002, there was one.
Yeah. And
that camera caught absolutely nothing except for the guy that stood up in front of the camera. And so, who knows what really happened? But nowadays, think about Petey Brookshaw's game winner at state. I've seen that shot 100 times, and I've seen 25 different views of it.
Yeah, it's awesome. yeah, the social or the multimedia abilities of the 21st century definitely, or late, 2020s, 2010s, definitely helps with that. One thing I think it might hinder, because I've been quite perceptive of the student sections this season, and I'll just say I've seen better.
Right.
And one reason is,
Yeah, kids have phones out.
and I was just reflecting, because I got my first cell phone, I think, was 2008. I got one, and I was in 7th grade. It was the spring of 2008, or 8th grade rather. And I mean, having a cell phone is one thing, but like having a handheld computer,
It's a whole different ballgame.
yeah. So I mean, I just don't know. I mean, so like in student sections, you had one thing to do, and it was usually be annoying
Right.
and cheer.
Right.
And I don't think that this is like a universal rule now where there's no good student section, because I've seen some awesome ones. You watching, I love to watch just highlights of different teams around the state, and watching some Milwaukee teams lately, their cheerleaders will like be on opposite ends of the court and cheer at each other and like mock each other, and same with the student sections. It's wild. It's so cool. But yeah, I mean, for anybody who might hear this, I think if you're a student at BW, I think there's areas to improve, but I think the phones definitely have a lot to do with it. Ooh.
Oh. Good acting there. Oh, we're going to get one off. We're not. So here's the deal. Right now, we have a bunch of little princesses. They're over here on the north side. They're going to come in. They're waiting for the JVers to get out of here.
No.
They're going to get a 5, and then they're going to come in dressed as princesses. We're going to get the Governor Don Timmerman announcing here. And Leanne's got some princess music attached to a speaker. She's going to hit play, and we're going to hear ads. I bet that's.
Why don't you guys get Pandora Plus or?
She
Spotify?
found some. She found some princess thing on YouTube. So.
Too bad this stream doesn't stay up so people can watch it later.
This one does.
Oh, okay. So I'll make sure I get some grandma and grandpas out there want to watch it later. I've seen behind the scenes snaps from. Oh, Alex would be here, wouldn't she?
Yeah. Someone's clapping, but wasn't really clapping to the beat.
Trying to. I mean, these kids aren't even in kindergarten. Some of them.
Were they kids or were they an adult?
Never talk about if you miss. Well, I guess you didn't do the halftime stuff for the little dribblers.
Yeah, I did.
Did you? I couldn't remember. It seems
We did
kind of crazy
we
that.
did it before the varsity game.
Okay. Like there wasn't enough stuff to do on game day.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just gonna zoom out, I guess.
Yeah, zoom out and try to get as much as you can. These are the
I'll just
7th grade, I believe. 7th grade girls helping out.
Yep. I ran into them at the as I was coming in.
We have some girls a little shy, it seems.
Oh, no one's watching. In your teaching days, what was the youngest grade you would have considered teaching?
3rd, maybe 2nd.
Not even close.
I do some kindergarten lunch duty.
Yeah, I was laughing the other day because a kid asked to go to the bathroom twice in like 3 minutes.
Yep. That's it. He said, "Can I go to the bathroom?" I said, "Yep." He comes back from the bathroom and says, "Can I go to the bathroom?" I said, "You just went to the bathroom." He goes, "No, I didn't."
Well, he did.
They're not done. They're putting their balls away. Okay. I'm like, "Yes, you did." He goes, "No." I said, "Dude, you just asked me." But that's this age. But you know, we did this with K, 4K and K, and there's so many people watching that you get a little.
A lot of eyeballs.
Yeah, like I better do what I'm supposed to be doing. Now we're doing some defense. Yeah. Little clop right there. Great crown. This is Lucy Brock in the rainbow tutu. That's daughter of Becky, who does all our volleyball
It's a good defensive
games.
stance she has now.
The back pedal slows down considerably. Oh, this is what Leanne says is what the girls love to do. They seem a little close. So the guy, the one that helped, that's not here tonight, but helped every week was Kyler. Leanne said he was always a great help. Oh. Run to your teammate. Help him. Help him. Yep. I think that was the grand finale.
Wave at the camera. No.
Oh, got a shoe issue.
I remember.
That's smart right there.
So speaking of the South Gym, when I was a 5th grader or 6th grader, I can't remember. We played during halftime of probably one of the last. Actually, I had to have been younger.
Been third and fourth, probably.
Third.
Yeah.
So, and I remember being so excited, and we had an older kid. It was 3rd and 4th. You're right. We had an older kid who, every time he got the ball, he shot the ball, and so I didn't even touch it, let alone shoot it, and I was so upset. But it was so cool. It was so cool because there's still a lot of people in the stands. I think that would be the Borowitz team. I think they were the last team to compete in there. Nate, as a senior, which was my brother's grade, because they filled the stage in. I think the stage was still there for Zach Campbell's senior year, when you were helping out.
Yeah, I think so.
And then
that would just been a year after me.
And then they put the big BW on there.
I didn't help out Zach senior year. I helped out the year after that.
Oh, okay. So Nate's
last year. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Which you could probably recollect quite a lot more than him from our conversations. Yeah, I don't really remember that. Yeah, I'm not sure what that.
Yeah, that's Nady.
What's funny is I'm very similar to that, and for football, like my senior year, when I wasn't injured as a junior starting, like I really have very few in-game memories. I don't know why. I was talking to Riley Anderson. He is the same thing. I'm like, what's your favorite memory? He's like, I don't remember a lot of it.
But he smiled. He gave you that real nice Riley Anderson smile when he said it.
Oh, yeah.
And that's all that mattered then.
Riley's, if you talk about walking into an establishment and trying to get, certain individuals in there to pay attention to you, what you do is you walk in with Riley.
Yep.
Because he doesn't even have to smile. Maybe just a grin and then his hair and it's eyes.
Yeah, Riles is the best.
He is the best. According to Brody Borgeson, he's thinking about moving back up here because Riley's been working as a packaging engineer, I believe, in the Madison area for a handful of years. And he's well on his way to becoming the the most interesting man in the world. He's got like this van.
Yep.
He mountain bikes, he hunts, he goes on these expeditions, all that, and then he's still also just Riley. Like he hasn't changed a bit. So I really do, because then if we get him to coach some football, if his schedule worked with it, that would be phenomenal.
That would be cool.
Yeah, just to have him around all the time would be great as well.
How's Bram bothering people again?
Well, that's Bram and Asha Mauer, who he says is his best friend.
Right.
Now, is it the other way around? I don't think so.
Bram's well on his way to be a very successful delegate somewhere in the world.
He's right up there.
She's happy to spend time with him. I don't get it. See, she's going to climb right under her lap.
I see future student council president, class president, prom king, homecoming king.
I don't know.
Snowball king. Oh, I don't know. I think so.
Oh, now he's off.
Maybe future professional wrestler.
He has like, I don't know, 60 of these little toy wrestlers.
I've never seen anybody that into it. I mean, I know that it's not uncommon for kids, but like the escalation in it seems like it's the only thing he thinks about.
Yeah. The other day though, we were playing. He had set up a Royal Rumble or something. I don't really know. I was just playing along. And he's like, "Oh, Dad, I forgot. I even forget their names because I haven't been watching it lately." I'm like, Bram, we just watched the last pay-per-view and we have all the other stuff recorded. Like, nothing really changed. It's like soap opera. You could miss a month of it and not miss anything.
Yeah.
But when there was nothing going on sports-wise,
yeah.
At one point we were watching a match and I'm like, "Hey, who do you think's gonna win?" And he tells me, and I'm like, "No, I think the other guy's gonna win." He goes, "Nope." And I said, "Well, you want to bet?" To which Cade responds, "Dad, are you trying to gamble on wrestling with your 4-year-old son?"
And then Cade goes, "Because if you need a bookie."
Yeah. I'm like, "Yeah, I guess that's how it appears." It was, I don't remember.
Good move, Kylie.
AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan, I think, was the match. Jordan Heinrich from distance.
At least Eli Coonan isn't so tall. Goodness gracious. He just keeps getting taller.
Good. Don't ever stop. Did he just point out too that he's wearing a basketball shirt?
I think.
Like we forgot that he plays basketball here? If he would have pulled out a paper that said 28 and 12, that'd have been way cooler.
Yeah. We should, gosh, make him a shirt, 20 and 12.
Hey, you got a shirt that's his size over there? One of those Need a Got It shirts?
No, I think they're all little ones.
They're all
now.
small. Yeah, I don't know how that happened.
Matt Smith, we missed it. He needs a medium.
That's true.
Shout out to Matt Smith, best AD that I've gotten to know.
The most accommodating man in the world. You need anything? You need anything? You need anything?
Yeah, he'll get kicked out of hotels because he'll drive.
Do you work here? No, I'm just seeing if you need anything.
A couple larges. I have a feeling Eli wears a little more than a large.
Yeah, you can see his belly button.
And, some guys, like practice shirts.
Yeah, that's true. It's too bad the baseball season canceled.
Uh,
Now, the issue is, like, if you have all of these, well, The issue is they're not having these discussions.
Right.
But if you have all of this time where you're supposed to be discussing things, how can you? Because the only other theory I've heard is, well, they'll just say, they'll kind of wash their hands of it and go, we'll just go back to the old agreement.
I don't know that you can just extend an agreement that both parties don't agree to.
Right. Like, at some point there's a sign the dotted line, I would assume, figuratively or literally. And if you're not going to have people do that, then how can you just magically have it be the old agreement? Unless there's already bylaws or legislation.
I don't know, but the way that I view it, right or wrong, is you have billionaires on one side of the table.
Yeah.
And you have millionaires, a lot of millionaires, and then some guys aspiring to be millionaires on the other side of the table.
Mm-hmm.
And the billionaires are saying, we're willing to have you lose millions of dollars if we lose millions of dollars. And at some point, the millionaires are going to say, we can't lose the millions because we only have millions. And the billionaires say, oh, so you're going to play by our rules. And that's where it's not super fun, because the baseball's not happening on the backs of the owners. It's happening on the backs of the players.
Right.
The owners are the ones profiting. And it's, for every Fernando Tatis and Wander Franco, who's guaranteed to make hundreds of millions of dollars over the next 10 years.
Did you see Juan Soto
turn down?
Yeah.
Good for him. There's also, I think of the Mitch Garvers, friend of mine, who's played professional baseball now for probably 11 years and hasn't hit the point where he's making lots of money, and collectively through 11 years of baseball has probably made over $1 million, but not a lot over $1 million. And I can't imagine, and even to go to play baseball in college, they don't have they have like 12 scholarships per team.
Yeah.
And you have to pay your way through the minor leagues because you don't make anything. Feed yourself, put yourself, and he's told me, he's like, there was 3 of us in a 1-bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
2 of us, one of us slept on the couch, one of us slept in the bed, and one of us slept on a mattress on the floor. And so it's like, it's those types of guys that are trying to find jobs, and the stories of guys being Uber drivers or whatever odd jobs they can work, and it's like, they're not doing it because they love driving. They're doing it because they're trying to make an income outside of the $4,000 a month that they made as minor league baseball players.
Yeah, and you can't paint with too broad of strokes, but I think what these situations can tell you about is maybe the kind of person that becomes a billionaire, a mogul, as they say, and where their priorities line, and how ugly things can get if money is the only factor. And that's unfortunate because it's on full display, and I think, baseball was gaining some momentum just because of the personalities in it now. Let alone Fernando Tatis, and he was injury plagued last season and had, the Padres were definitely underperformed, but just like the Braves were cool. It was fun to watch them. The Dodgers are always cool. I don't know. I think there's a lot that you can get excited about. The Twins a couple years ago having one of their best seasons in a long time. Brewers making the playoffs for 5 straight postseasons for the first time in franchise history. Like, now we just usually was it pitchers and catchers Monday scheduled?
Yeah, it would have been this week. One thing I did read that is apparently quote unquote set for the future is that the playoffs will expand to 7 teams per division or per league. And
as opposed to 5, right? If you don't,
correct.
So
you'll get your 3 division winners and 4 wild cards. Your number 1 overall seed will get a bye. Your number 2 your second division winner, the one with the best record, will host 3 games against the team of their choice. The other division winner then will get 3 games at home at the against the team of their choice. And then the 2 teams that are left presumably would go to the team with the better winning record.
Yeah.
And play 3 games at their home.
Interesting.
And I'd heard before that they want to make that selection, like, you know, the Brewers didn't get the bye, so they get their choice of who they want to play. They want to turn that into like a prime time Sunday night show.
Yeah.
You know, for money, for ratings. We're going to have the varsity game following this is going to be on a separate stream. We do take all of the varsity games down at the request of Coach English. The JV games will stay up. Actually, the JV games will disappear, and then I will make them reappear tomorrow. But we will have that on separate stream. This will be our last broadcast of the girls' regular season, as mentioned before. And then we will have boys' home finale tomorrow. Regular season home finale. And then next Friday night, we'll have Blackhawk girls versus the winner of
freshman. Or even a 7th grader. I'll tell you why I'm asking in a second.
No, I don't. He was probably 6 feet tall as an 8th grader, and I think we're getting back on here for the JV game.
I have it up on my phone. So. But like when I was walking in, because those 7th grade girls and Trinity's there, and she stands up.
Yeah, she's tall.
And I was like, I think we're back.
Yep.
We're
back live here. Not sure what happened. Says the internet in the high school went down. So hopefully that doesn't happen again.
All I know is I just saw an original starter number 92 Reggie White jersey walk in, and I haven't been this envious in a long time. Like the brand starter. I don't know.
I can't. Yeah.
That's a hard. That is a. If that's a true
worth
original.
A zoom.
If that's truly original, that's hard to find.
Are we talking up?
Yeah.
Up near the third.
So that'd be like a circa 1995.
Outward bounds. Zoom in. See what we got.
Circa 1995
right
Reggie White. He was a free agent, one of the first big free agent signings.
I can't tell. Is that Austin Schmidt? I think it
be.
is. That's the top boys cross country runner with that.
There you go.
I think he got 2nd in regionals, 39 and 9 on the year. Of course, wrestlers.
But yeah, that's cool. Hawks up 19. This one's got just under 7 minutes to go.
So Jersey night,
which is opportunistic for this handoff.
Joey B over there.
Janessa has a Kevin Durant, Oklahoma City.
Oh yeah.
Huh. That's
one of my favorite teams ever. One
was
of my
it
favorite teams ever.
2011?
I don't know. It was him, Russ, and Harden, and I loved every second of it.
And then their home court. I remember in the playoffs, KD hit a game winner, and it just went nuts.
Well, what else do you have to do in Oklahoma City?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I assume Crinky's got a Steph Curry.
Yeah. They should have stayed in Seattle.
What year did they?
The Sonics jerseys is like, yeah, it's so great. That wasn't even that long ago.
Yeah, I know. It was like what? Because Kevin Durant was drafted. Someone else that still plays who is it? Good player. Was on the Supersonics besides KD.
I thought the New Orleans Hornets were cool too.
The Westbrook was drafted by the Sonics. Never played for the Sonics.
Oh,
right?
okay.
Yeah. Well, KD played for them for
a
year,
season, and then Westbrook was drafted and never.
Yeah.
Wasn't there a Canadian team?
Toronto Raptors.
Well,
the Vancouver Grizzlies.
Vancouver Grizzlies. Yeah, that's right.
Bryant Big Country Reeves.
Yeah, dude. From
Those
Oklahoma State.
Those were cool uniforms.
Yes. I haven't, to be honest, the 90s uniforms, in my opinion, are far, far, far cooler than.
Like at the time, they knew they were cool, right? Or is it like
I don't know.
like I kind of wonder.
Well, the Raptors jerseys were awesome.
Like at the time, you're like, "Well, this is out of this world."
Yeah, then the Raptors went with the 2 shaded jerseys, which were weird, but
yeah.
now they're a thing again, kind of. So you didn't watch Timberwolves game, but the Timberwolves game yesterday against the Raptors. Raptors featuring former Apple Valley player Gary Trent Jr.
Oh,
making his return to
That's
the
funny.
Target Center, and
I missed that.
when they come down to check in for the starting lineup, instead of Trent getting his rosin and his stick from the visitor side, walks to the Timberwolves side, which apparently is a big no-no. And then, while standing around the circle, Pat Beverly wanted Trent to make sure he stood on his side of the line. So there's some hand fighting going on. Game starts with a technical on both sides. Double tech. Game hasn't started.
Because that Reggie White jersey, would that be a champion or a Reebok?
That's a starter.
Or a starter even.
That's
Jeez,
why.
yeah.
That's why it pumps me up. Shout out to so Daniel Oturu.
Yep.
You mentioned Apple Valley. It reminded me of when Tyus was a senior and Cretan Durham Hall and Apple Valley were playing at the Target Center.
Okay.
And there was a hard foul. And I wonder if those two have made up, because that was a big deal for a while.
That was that in the state?
It was state semi, right?
Yeah, I remember I was standing in there's a bowling alley at the Mall of America. We were just there on a random night, and I'm sneaking out of the bowling alley to go down and watch it on the big screen. Yeah, that was a crazy.
Yeah.
It was a crazy game.
I took, what was it? Microbiology with his mother.
Yeah, you told me that.
It was the funniest interaction too, because the way she said it, because it was right after he signed with the Gophers. It was like she was telling me, like, he's starting to, like, gonna go play in a 3-on-3 tournament. It was like, because I didn't even know I hadn't gathered who exactly she was talking about yet.
Okay.
There's a bit of a language barrier, but when it finally clicked, I'm like, wait, Daniel Oturu is your son? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, he's
That's awesome.
because he was one of the bigger signings the Gophers have had in the last 10 years.
He's not in the league anymore, right?
He's a G leaguer.
Yeah.
Yeah, but was a one and done. Had actually a really good season for the Gophs.
And was a Clipper, I think, for a year, and was involved in was it a trade to the Nuggets? I want to say that he was a Nugget. Good pass. And Zeke Nanji of Hopkins basically took his spot in a trade. Hawks up 33 to 24:58 left in the final JV game.
He's
of the
with
season.
Toronto, looks like. He was drafted by the Clippers.
Correct.
Yeah, and it looks like he's with Toronto, or was.
Was he traded to the Nuggets at one point?
I don't know. Was he drafted by the Timberwolves?
No.
And then traded? Because it says draft, Minnesota Timberwolves, second round, third pick, 33rd overall.
Are you basketball referencing this?
Yeah. That's what it says. It
I
wasn't a
don't.
sign and trade, or a draft and trade.
It must have been.
Yeah, it says Minnesota. I'm sorry. Yeah, no, it does.
Drafted by the Timberwolves.
Yeah.
Traded by the Timberwolves to the Clippers for Matthias Lazort, who I never even heard of.
Also in that draft, Jordan Nwora, current Buck.
Huh.
Trey Jones. Was Tyus at one point starting for the Grizzlies this season?
Yeah, when Morant was out.
Yeah.
And they went on like a 10-game winning streak.
Well, if Dave Ramberg is listening, I'm disappointed that Max is not wearing a jersey. Because I was wondering what jersey would Max wear.
A singlet.
a singlet, which is technically a jersey. Yeah. Opportunity missed.
Yeah. So shout out to former Badger, current draft eligible football player Leo Chanel, because I remember watching him in a scrimmage at Barron.
Yeah.
And his practice jersey looked like a singlet.
Yep.
So that was interesting. And we got to watch Andrew Klopp kind of bounce around the post between Leo and John.
I've seen Leo mocked in the first round.
He was good.
20th overall pick in one draft.
Peyton Mikla with an and one. Good finish by the sophomore. And ones are brought to you by Packman's Concrete. You can reach Nick Pack at 612-804-5222 for all your concrete needs, or at packmansconcrete@gmail.com. Nick, if you're listening, get to an open gym, man.
I'm guessing Nick is probably officiating tonight.
Well, on Wednesdays.
Right, but he's not listening because he's officiating.
Yeah. I wonder if colleges, because he's into the college game now. I wonder if colleges have Wednesday games or something.
Likely.
Because he was a regular. He was always there. I remember one time he was wearing a swimming team shirt. He was a swim coach.
Yeah.
When he was like 19, right out of high school.
I've heard that story. I forgot that I'd heard that story. Who we got over there rocking the old travel ball?
I was actually just going to bring up those jerseys.
Is that Guthrie?
Yep.
Those are cool
Love
jerseys.
Those are reversibles.
Oh, yeah. Siege was the name of the company.
Got Trae Young via Sam Hush. Clay has got
Is
an
that
interesting one.
Not Miami. I can't see it.
No. Colton Hush has got a Tyler Hero jersey.
So if Ethan Feedy is here, apparently his most recent jersey purchase was a Tyler Hero Whitnell jersey.
That's cool. That's exceptionally cool. Good for him.
I'm disappointed my only Brewers jersey is a Gene Segura jersey.
He had a good
But I
run.
wear it all the time that there's a theme. He's really good with the, I don't know who he's with now actually, but he's hitting over 300 at one point.
Yeah.
One of those Brewers that got away.
The only threshold for me with Yelich now is that he's hitting over 200.
So you like him half the time?
Exactly.
Well, 1/5 of the time, yeah.
Poor Christian. I like Yelich. By all accounts, he's an awesome dude. He was unbelievable. Good take.
Ooh, Marin.
Too strong. Is that Mason Warner rocking the Ant jersey?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Which is a great. Yeah, that's a great. Actually, there's a likeness there, in my opinion.
Kai has that jersey, and then we went to a game, and they had all the kids got like a. I mean, it's obviously not a nice replica, but got an Ant jersey. So we, I believe, now have like 9 Ant jerseys in our house.
It's like the inevitable yard sale or like estate sale is gonna be. I mean, you'll have a full like vintage clothing shop.
Kai rocked the Allen Iverson Sixers rookie jersey to school the other day.
Was that yours?
Yeah. Yeah, one of the few that made it all the way. Champion.
Do you have any Sodan MJ stuff? Or any old MJ stuff from the 90s?
I did, but do not have any longer. I had the Chicago Script jersey. I bought Marin a Jordan jersey. She's got a Jordan jersey, which is probably too small for her.
Ooh. I think that's
good pass, good finish.
Cam Thompson with the retro Milwaukee Giannis look.
Well, that's definitely Cam.
I think the reason I said I think is because it could also be a Ray Allen.
Oh yeah. So why did
Oh yeah. See what you mean.
Who's that?
I don't know if he's big.
Very tall. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean.
Why did Ray Allen? Why did the Bucks let someone else wear 34?
Well, Ray Allen and George Carl were not friends, and so I don't know if it was the most cordial of partings.
But that's fine. But someone in the front office should have said, "Hey, Ray
Yeah.
Allen's a jersey that we have to retire."
100%. Yeah. Yeah. I don't
That's
know.
just that's like letting someone wear 21 for the Wolves. This just ain't happening.
Yeah, I think if they make it to the finals under Ray, probably. I mean, they had one really, really, really good year. Glenn Robinson the third, and then Ray, and then George Carl was himself and blew it up because he's mean.
But still,
Yeah.
Ray Allen was.
Oh, 100%, 100%.
He's a top. Was he? He's in the top 75.
Has to be. I mean, he's the second greatest. He's the second, most accomplished three-point shooter of all time. I don't know if he's the second best shooter of all time, but he's
He's got the prettiest shot of ever.
quick, efficient.
And who wants to rock a Jesus Shuttlesworth jersey? Everybody. That was great.
Random thought there was well, around here you wouldn't have any, but Lacrosse Central. Of course, I have to throw in Lacrosse Central.
Right.
But they just put up Johnny Davis's Mr. Basketball banner, and those are cool. It's like I was looking at Abby Klopp's banner, but it's like 3 times longer, and it's a picture of Johnny, Colby King too, of pretty much both dunking, and it's just like having that in here. I just realized would be
That'd be awesome.
amazing.
I had some intel last evening that the Wisconsin Dells, their high school court, is like impeccable. Like, have you been in UW River Falls?
Yeah.
New? It's like that, but a little bit bigger, essentially.
Wow.
I'm just curious who what the organization or families are, because they have the Just a Game Field House as well.
Right.
And I'm assuming they needed some kind of booster, because that's probably multi-million-dollar construction.
But the thing, I mean, how are public schools funded?
Right.
Yeah. Well, that was a big thing. Yeah.
They're funded through property taxes. You don't think Wisconsin Dells has some crazy property tax on some of those? I mean, businesses looking for write-offs. There's just, being a tourist city, there's so much money.
Yeah. Is there a casino there too?
I don't think so. I did hear though that Treasure Island has now opened up a sports book.
Really? That's only 45 minutes away.
Wait, is it legal in Minnesota?
Reservation or something?
Excuse me, not Treasure Island, Turtle Lake.
Oh, because of the Wisconsin.
Wisconsin casinos, Wisconsin native tribes have negotiated something with the government.
Smart.
So we're going to Turtle Lake for every.
Like, you can go to their website and it says sportsbook.
Well, so Ambrose is moving to Turtle Lake.
So yeah, I'm going to Clayton. Take over their cross-country track program.
It was supposed to open on Super Bowl Sunday.
So next year, me and you are going to go up there every Saturday night to put in NFL bets. And
I don't know about that.
What? Come on. Those would be probably some of the best odds in the casino if you just pick a random team on the money line or the spread.
I look for bets that are like sure things. Like, is Odell Beckham going to score in the Super Bowl? Yes. Is somebody other than the quarterback going to throw a pass? Also yes.
Wonder what the odds are on that one.
I can tell you. Because that to me was easy money.
Yeah, I mean, it's happened.
I think 4 guys threw passes, as a matter of fact. Over-under's 2.5.
So, Pat McAfee through FanDuel had his super boost was Odell Beckham anytime touchdown, Cooper Kupp anytime touchdown, Cooper Kupp 60-plus receiving yards, and Joe Burrow 11.5-plus rushing yards.
Okay.
And so the first 3, it's like boom, boom, boom.
Yep.
And then the whole second half, they're like, get loose, Joey B. Get loose, Joey B. Because he was like plus 750, I think.
Okay, was he parlay these?
What's that?
Was it a parlay?
Yes.
Like, okay.
Yeah, and that's what they do it all year. They do the Super Boost every week. And the one year there's been some funny finishes. The one Scotty Miller needed like literally 1 more yard, and it got spotted a yard back where it was like obvious that it was that yard, and it would have been like FanDuel would have lost millions of dollars.
Right.
Oh,
you can't do that.
Oh boy, oh
There was one that I just read about, a Super Bowl, and I can't think of the quarterback. If it was Mahomes, where the quarterback was like scrambling backwards to lose yards, and it was like plus 11.5, like 11.5 over under for yardage, and he had like 27, and he scrambled back twice and lost 16 and finished with 10 yards. All right, so the BWJV girls will wrap up their season with a victory here over the St. Croix Central Panthers. And we will be back on the varsity stream here momentarily, assuming everything goes well on our end. We did lose connection here one time, so we're going to disconnect this stream, go back to that other stream. You can go back to Blackhawk TV and look for the next live event that will be underway shortly, and we will see you there momentarily.